big news came out this week, and it's a terrible story for people that worked at ESPN, people that are losing their jobs or being laid off from their ESPN gig, but I believe it's being blown way out of proportion, especially by certain media outlets, a lot of blog sites on Twitter, on social media, putting it out there. And I don't think it's really fair, but again, not to take anything away from the individuals that lost their job or being laid off, are going to have to seek other opportunities. Maybe ESPN was their dream job, but I don't understand why people wouldn't have seen this coming. The state of the media nationwide is a little bit unsettled. You're seeing newspaper writers lose their jobs. I can speak personally about radio people that I know losing their jobs. Things are getting shifted around. Things aren't what they once used to be. So when ESPN went on this insane hiring spree to have a beat reporter, to have a commentator in every town that had a sports team, you had to think that the bubble was going to burst. The same situation happened with The Athletic, the subscription-based publication that covers on the news. They just recently laid off a bunch of people too. Sports Illustrated, all of these sports publications and again, main media publications are laying off people left and right. They're downsizing. It just doesn't warrant them being in this position anymore. And thankfully, with the advancement, I should say, of social media, with podcasts, things like that, I believe that a lot of these people that lost their jobs will be fine. They'll be able to find their own little niche out there in the media market. They may even get, jobs with other media companies. A new media company may kind of pop up, and I think these people are going to be okay. And they made a great living at ESPN. These are very smart, very intelligent people. So, it sucks that they lost their jobs. It sucks that they got laid off. It sucks that Disney made that decision that it's time to cut some fat. It's time to cut bait on some of these people. But, again, the state of the current market with social media, with YouTube, with podcasts, with blogs, things like that, I think most of these people will be fine. Let's go through the list of people who lost their jobs. And this story came out about ESPN doing layoffs. The first name that came out was NBA analyst Jeff Van Gundy. Susie Kolber, who's great. She was part of the layoffs. Keyshawn Johnson, Todd McShay. Crazy, like these names that came out. But again, with the way that the media is evolving and the way that things are going, Max Kellerman also was let go. I'm not a big fan of Max Kellerman in any way, shape, or form, but you never want to see anybody lose their job, anybody get laid off. Todd McShay came as a big surprise too, a very integral part of ESPN's draft coverage. Jalen Rose let go. Again, we talked about Susie Kolber, Steve Young, Matt Hasselbeck, two great NFL analysts. Crazy. All told, a total of 20 people lost their jobs when it came to the layoffs by ESPN, obviously their parent company. Disney had a lot to do with that. But again, Ashley Brewer also in the list of people who lost their jobs, who were laid off. But I am confident that these people will land on their feet. I am confident they will find jobs at either other media outlets or do their own thing, and they will be successful. Having that background of being on ESPN, depending upon what your point of view is on ESPN. I am not the biggest fan of ESPN. I think they've gotten way too far away from covering the important thing, which is sports. They almost had like an MTV type situation where MTV covered everything but music, and now ESPN kind of delved a little bit too far into politics, a little too far into social justice. They may have covered way too many fringe sports instead of what I call playing the hits, covering the NFL, covering the NBA, Major League Baseball, UFC. As the WWE is going through their negotiations to find a new media partner, I think ESPN would be smart to get in the WWE business and, just stop focusing on the politics, stop focusing on the, social justice aspect of everything. I think that turns off a lot of viewers. People want sports as a distraction. They don't want to be reminded every 5 minutes of what's going on in the world. They turn on a baseball game. They turn on a football game. They watch a UFC fight. They watch a WWE event to escape what goes on in the real world and just get a little bit of a distraction. I think ESPN tripped on their own 2 feet when they delve too hard into politics, too hard into social justice, when it can be a very polarizing issue for a lot of people. But hey, maybe they learned their lesson. Maybe they'll get back to the original formula that made ESPN so successful. Maybe we will see some of these people get rehired by ESPN. You never know what can go on. But again, best of luck to the people that lost their jobs, that got laid off at ESPN this week. But again, it's happening all over the world. It's happening all over the country, especially in media. So, it shouldn't come as that big of a shock. Just kind of keep those people in your thoughts, and let's hope for the best.